Here we go. Let's go. Initial underwriting approval and conditions. Let's talk about just where we're at and what this process means. So at this point, our processor has put together the file. You've done your homework. Our upfront folks have done theirs. The processor has now gotten the file nice and pretty. We've submitted it to underwriting. So at this point, we're waiting for the underwriter to now grade our homework, to tell us what's missing, what they needed, what they have additional questions on, things like that. So the initial underwrite, when a loan goes into underwriting, industry-wide and pretty typical for us too, you're looking at about, call it 48 hours from submission to getting your conditions out. And that 48 hours can vary. So for example, if you submitted at 4 o'clock, that may not count till the submission for the next day. So a lot of mortgage companies, I'd say most probably say like something after 3 o'clock is not considered that day's submission. It's the next day's submission. And then you figure you give them about 2 days, give or take. A lot of times it can be 24 hours. Sometimes it can be 72. I would say overall, generically speaking, 48. But if rates dip for a minute and there's a big refi, a little surge, maybe that 48 goes to instead of 2 days goes to 4 or 5 days if it's a refi. Purchases always take priority because there's closing dates, there's contracts, we got obligations to meet, but the refi turn times can certainly vary and go up and down based on just volume. So the initial underwrite can take, let's just call it 2 days, 48 hours, right? 48 to 72 hours, depending on when it gets submitted. And the underwriter is going to go through and grade your homework. And they're going to say, oh man, I notice this bank statement, there's a large deposit, and we needed to get that addressed. Now, the mortgage market team's really good at we're really good at what we do. Hopefully, we've already gotten that documentation. We've seen it, we've noticed it. We'll tell, we'll say what it is. So when the conditions come out, the conditions are just what the underwriter needs, the additional questions or additional documents, things they want addressed. That's kind of what it is. So we don't have many. We should be able to anticipate what they are. Sometimes we might even know what's coming. So for example, it's a quick close. We got to get something in. We know we still need something from you, the buyer or the homeowner doing a refi, but we just can't wait for you. So we're just going to submit it knowing that they're going to, require that W-2 when we get it because you're busy trying to log in and forgot your password. So the conditions, we're looking for the big scary ones. Those don't happen hardly often because we address all that stuff up front. We know what we're doing. We do the pre-approval part up front. That's why it's so important to get your paperwork in. But that's what the underwriting conditions are. Again, it's just them coming back saying, here's what we need. And again, sometimes it's stuff that you don't even need. Maybe we did a good job, you did a good job, all your paperwork's in, but they still need stuff from third parties. The appraiser needs to change the appraisal from 123 Main Street to 123 Main Road, right? Or I mean, it's that detailed, it's that nitpicky, it's that kind of stuff. Or maybe the title company needs to do this, or maybe we internally just need to finish out, some of the stuff we got to do and buttons to push and things to happen. So once we do that, once the loan's approved for purchases and most refis, we will then order what's called the initial CD. So that's another piece. That's a component you'll get coming, but the initial CD is the one where we say, hey, now that we know we're good, let's start working with the title company and at least kind of get some rough numbers for what you can expect. So we'll get you updated numbers at this point because maybe the taxes are now in. Maybe we now have your insurance. If it's a refi, we might have your payoff. So let's get some better numbers, and that's what the initial CD does. It at least starts that conversation. And so we'll get that going. Come to you. You got to e-sign it, whatever it is you got to do. This is also the stage of the process where you would tell us if the contract's still exactly as we know it to be. Are there any amendments that you guys have made? Some from negotiations, some repairs. If you need to extend it or change the closing date or whatever it is, just tell us what's coming. Whether it's maybe the seller's added some concessions. Again, maybe there's a lease back or some repairs, whatever's gone on during that home inspection and renegotiation stage, just confirm with us right now if there's any other changes we don't know about. People ask, do we update the credit report before closing? Sometimes, right? We'll definitely take a look and see if there's any inquiries. If there's BMW Financial, we're going to say, did you buy a car? Right? So any inquiries that are showing up, we're going to ask you about them, but we don't need to pull typically, the very vast majority of the time, we don't repull credit. They'll just be a quick inquiry check. We will do verification of employments or final verification of employment. So the initial underwrite, if it's a quick close, this may be also the time where we reach back out and get updated information from your employer, HR, your manager, whoever it is, to verify, yes, you're still employed. Yes, everything's still the same. If we're ahead of the game, like a lot of times new construction, we're doing this 3 weeks before, then those final, employment verifications, things like that, those won't happen for a while because we have to do those within a certain number of days of closing. So we can't do it like 3 weeks before. And then once we're done, you get the conditions back. So now we've done the initial underwrite, you got your homework, the conditions. Once you get that back, we'll then submit it for the clear to close. That is the next step. So there's a whole nother step and video you can check out about that. But ultimately, that's kind of what this is. It's, the short version is a teacher is going to grade our homework, going to tell us what we need to do. You and us, we will do this together and we will get it submitted for the clear to close. And that's coming next. If you have questions, reach out to the Mortgage Mark team. We're here to answer your questions. And as always, when you think mortgage, think Mark.